Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to understand these locking puzzles and solve them for yourselves or assemble and disassemble them for yourselves without using these pamphlets, although these are very helpful and these are the only reason I know how to do it. But I have figured out the logic and I will tell you that in this video. So the two puzzles we have are the KongMing sphere and the fetch in the cage puzzle. So we'll start with the fetch in the cage because it's very cubical and easy to understand. Now the fetch in the cage has only two different types of pieces and a ball. So there's piece A and there's piece B. If you notice, piece B has the small groove, and that is the key to any of these locking puzzles, is that at least one piece always has a different type of design than the others, and obviously that's kind of necessary in order to assemble and disassemble. So here what you have to do first is find that piece. So here if you notice, everything seems pretty symmetrical. Well, it's hard to find, right? But if you look really carefully, you might notice, say this piece for example, a very minute ridge here which does not exist in any of the other pieces. So that is piece B. The ridge is piece B. So this ridge or cutting in the piece is what causes the whole puzzle to be, well, causes you to be able to lock and unlock the puzzle. So the first thing you do is you push through B. So you just push downward here. So you get this piece out. And now, because you've got this out, you can push this out. And once you've got that out, this piece, piece B in itself becomes free to move. So you can move it over to where you can now push everything out slowly. So move it over so that you can pull this one out, like so. And once you get B out, that's it. Everything will slowly start coming apart because B is what holds it all together. And as you can see, it's just falling now, and soon enough it just falls to pieces. And we have the ball. So for now, let's keep the ball somewhere so we don't lose it. These are your pieces, okay? Now I will show you how to assemble the puzzle. Now that you know how to disassemble it, let's get into the assembly. So find B, which is the piece with the ridge, and keep it on the side for now. If you noticed, in the full state, the puzzle had only double pieces. So like it was always two sets of two. So the way you start assembling this is very simple. You put a vertical set of two, you get a horizontal set of two, you get a vertical set of two. Pretty simple. And now you mount the horizontal in between both vertical sets. So I'm doing this behind a camera, so it might be slightly harder to do for me, but this is basically what you do. So you set it like that. Right now it's just mounted in between, and you lock this structure using pieces like this, horizontally placed like this. So now this locks this, and you lock the back as well. And just like that, you have a self-lock structure only with this one type of piece. Now this is where you have to change up your strategy, because we need another layer of this, another layer of this, so both the locking pieces and another set of pieces through. So what you do first is build another set of two like this and put it through this, right? So that's pretty simple to do if you're not as bad as me. You just put it through this. Now the thing is, in order to build another piece here, we need to raise this. So what you do is raise it up like this, and once you raise it up, you can just put another piece here very easily, and then make sure it slots in, and once it's slotted in, you can just bring this back down and push it all the way out. Let it be protruding here, okay? The reason you're protruding this is now we involve B. B is the only thing left. If you notice, we're pretty much done with the puzzle. We just have B left. The reason we protrude this is because if we don't, then we can never actually put B here. And the reason for that is the design of B. If you notice, the ridge is not exactly in the center. It's offset by a distance, and it's longer on this side. So what you do is, you start by placing B such that we can move these one at a time. But if you notice, B is being obstructed right now. I can put it like this, sure, but then I will never be able to move this piece fully. So how do we solve this? So this is where I sort of understood how these puzzles work. In order to put the piece that defines the puzzle, you have to change one of the other pieces, and in this case, you can move this piece down. So be careful while doing this, of course. And that's it. It should be really easy. I'm doing it behind a camera, that's why I'm so unstable. Once you move it down, you can put B here. So start with putting B here where this slot aligns with this piece, and push. Make sure that this piece is fully down, otherwise it won't be very smooth. as you can see, and just push this one piece over the edge. That's it. Now that it's over the edge, it has locked B into place. And now comes the beautiful part where you can slide B over because you've locked this. And now you just pretty much undo your moves. So you move this back up. Once this is back up, the final move is to move this in. And it should be pretty simple. That's it. And that's the puzzle. Now you might be wondering, I never really involved this ball. I will show you now at what stages in the puzzle you can put the ball in. So if I reverse a couple of moves, we have this, and we have this to move this. So right before you place B, so once you move this, even before you move this down, honestly, you can just put the ball in at this point. So find your ball and just don't lose it like that. Just place it in there, and then you can move this down. You can place B this way. Once you place B, you can move this over through the slot, then move B over, and then move this back up and move this in. That's it. So now the ball is inside the puzzle, and that's exactly what you wanted. So yeah, that is the first puzzle, which is fetch in the cage. I hope you understood how to disassemble and assemble it. So moving on to the next one, the KongMing sphere. Now the KongMing sphere has a lot of different type of pieces, as you can see. So I just adjust the brightness here. There's A, B, C, D, E, and F. And to me, the different piece in this is actually E, because it has no ridges and every other piece has ridges. So E is actually the key to finding how to disassemble this puzzle. So let's get right into that first. So here's the sphere, and E was a long piece. So we need to find, it's a longitudinal piece, it's not a curved piece, it's just a straight bar. And we need to find a straight bar with no ridges. So let's look at this bar. You can see the ridges inside. Let's look at this bar. You can see a couple of ridges inside. You look at this bar, you can see a lot of ridges. But then you look at this bar, right? There are no ridges for this bar, which means this bar is E, which means this bar can just slide out. So you have to find this and slide it out slowly, just in its own axis. Slide it out. That's it. It's that simple. So now you've got one piece out. And then E was actually locking these two curved pieces. So you can just slide those out like that. Just like literally just kick them out of their slots. That's it. Now once you do that, you want to get rid of this piece. But the only way to do that is to raise this entire contraption so that this will also slide out. And you can literally raise it by pushing up on the pieces. So like so. So you just push it up and push it up until you can slide this out comfortably. And slowly but surely things will start popping out just like that. And you've done it. Like the main aim is to get those initial pieces out. Once you find E and the corresponding, I think it was this piece. No, it must have been this piece. Once you get these two out, the whole puzzle will start coming apart. So yes, now the sphere is completely disassembled. So there's no need to fear. This is the KongMing sphere. But that was really bad. I apologize. Okay, so next, to assemble it, you have this. This is the first piece you need. And the reason you need this is because we're going to put two semicircular pieces in these slots. And one key to assembling this puzzle is to note that the slots in the semicircular pieces themselves always face outward. So they never go slot into slot like that. It's always like this. And the reason for that is you need to lock other pieces into the slots as well. So once you do this, you need to find a piece with just one ridge and place it in an inverted manner over these. So now you've got the base of the sphere ready. So now that you've made this, you need to lock it using this piece. And remember that this piece has a lot of ridges, but this middle ridge always comes at the bottom. That's the key to the lock. And the reason for this you will see later. So I'm putting the ridge at the bottom, as you can see. You can see here, it's at the bottom of that axis. You put that there, and then these slots on the side have to be, it's kind of obvious, you fill them with the semicircular pieces. Just like so. And the same tactic, the slot of the semicircular piece never goes inward, it always faces outward. Once you do this, you can lock this sideward contraption using this piece. This also has a middle ridge, and again the middle ridge goes to the bottom. So always align this middle ridge at the bottom with that one, and you can just sort of press them together. Now you have a completely stable structure, and what you have to do now is figure out how these pieces will go in. So remember that this piece was the unlocking piece and it is also the locking piece. So now our next aim is to slide this upward, and upward enough like this well, try not to move the middle axis. You just want to move the outer contraption. This is extremely hard to do behind a camera, but yeah, the reason you're sliding this upward is, so I've slid it up to where the semicircular pieces are almost at the top now, and now I have this. So this gap is what we need, and this gap will accommodate this final, I mean, it's not the final long piece, but it's one of the long pieces. And once you do that, you press it back down. So be very gentle, because this is where I usually tend to mess up. And you have to align the middle ridge with these two wide pieces. That's the aim. That's it. That was a pretty shabby job, but I did get the job done. And now for the final part, well, you have these two. So you have these empty slots. Again, semicircular pieces go in with the slot of the piece facing outward. This part's pretty easy. Just get this in there. You get this in here, and now you're almost done. And now you will see the reason. So remember when I said the middle ridge of those two pieces has to be on the lower side? It's because of this. This is where I made my mistake while assembling it. I wasn't able to get this through because those ridges were on top and obstructing this small hole for the last piece to go through. But now that they're on the bottom, you get a free path directly through the entire puzzle, and that's it. It's solved. So I mean, well, solved or assembled, whatever you'd like to call it. So that's it. That's the KongMing sphere. That brings us to the conclusion of the video, and I just want to make a small comment regarding how you should basically approach any type of locking puzzle, in my opinion. So the first step is to find the piece that's odd. Once you find the piece that's odd, you will know that that is the locking or unlocking piece, and it controls the structure and the integrity of the puzzle. Once you find out how to get that piece out, you can immediately see the puzzle fall apart in front of your eyes. And once you disassemble the entire puzzle, well, it is useful to use the pamphlets, of course. That's how I learned it, so I'm not going to say that I figured it out myself. But even then, it's a lot to figure out, because the pamphlets only give you, for example, for the sphere, the pamphlets only give you the configuration and some moves like push up or push down, but not all. So you have to use that to your advantage and sort of understand how things work. And yeah, that's it for this video. I hope this was helpful and fun, most importantly. If you want to get these puzzles with a 50 rupee discount applied, please click the link in the description and you can go ahead and get these from Cubelelo. And thanks to Cubelelo, of course, for sponsoring me. And these puzzles are really great. They're really fun, and they're very they stimulate the mind, and it's very nice to use your brain. So yes, I'll stop ranting. I think that's the end of this video. Any doubts, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll gladly answer. And I hope you understood the logic behind locking puzzles. So all you have to do is find that one piece, and that's it. No pun intended. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Send this to your friends if you think they'd enjoy content like this, because this was a relatively new one. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. Take care and peace.